you the female version of Steph Curry, or do I need to call Steph Curry the male version?
The Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Because of that, Sandy Brondello had to talk about the next offensive play here for New York.
Into a two-possession game.
Ionescu is 4 of 13.
She fires, and it goes! She hit it!
We had a belief that we could come in here and do this when nobody believed in us. That's all that matters. That's all you need, and you can go shock the world.
Pass to Clark, drives in. Nobody stops her. The right-handed layup off the window.
She's going to be really damn good, I'll tell you that. But the thing is, she's going to have a target on her back.
The Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Here comes Clark going the other way. Clark going behind the back. Oh, it's Boston, and and one. Clark step back three. She connects.
We saw the ratings. We saw the merchandise sales. We saw the attendance. Caitlin Clark is box office.
She's one of the most captivating figures in women's basketball. Scratch that. Women's sports history.
Wheels around, evades Van Lith, and drains it! My goodness!
A dazzling guard with the scoring and playmaking skills to revolutionize the WNBA.
They tried to stop her. Defenders sprinted, analysts debated, even the rulebook wasn't safe. But no matter what they did, Caitlin Clark kept changing the game one deep three, one record-breaking assist, and one unstoppable performance at a time. Some called it unfair, others called it legendary. But the truth is, Caitlin Clark became so dominant that the game itself had to adjust. July 6, 2024. Indiana Fever versus New York Liberty. A game that would go down in history, not just for the numbers, but for what it represented. Caitlin Clark, a rookie, recorded a triple-double, 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 13 assists in an 83-78 victory. A triple-double in the WNBA is rare enough, but Clark didn't just play well, she took control. With the game hanging in the balance, she stepped past half court, locked in, and launched a three-pointer from way beyond the arc. You could feel the collective gasp in the arena. The Liberty defenders had seen this before. They scrambled, stretched their arms, and tried to contest. Too late. The ball snapped through the net, silencing the crowd. This was more than a great play. This was dominance, and not everyone was happy about it. Some fans and analysts started arguing that Clark was receiving too much media attention. They said her race and sexuality played a role in the hype. Others claimed that the coverage of her overshadowed the league's established stars. But while debates raged on, one thing was undeniable. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a rookie, she was the story of the WNBA. It's one thing to break records, it's another to change the way the sport is played. Take her game against the Los Angeles Sparks on May 28, 2024. She dropped 30 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds, another night of Clark putting on a clinic. But it was how she did it that sent shockwaves through the league. Within just 8 games, she had already reached 100 points and 50 assists, the fastest rookie to ever do so. But the moment that had everyone talking? A single sequence. Clark blocked a shot from Lee Ueru, grabbed the loose ball, and without hesitating, fired a cross-court pass. Before the defense could recover, she was back in position, catching the ball and pulling up from deep. Another three, another dagger. Some analysts started questioning whether her style of play was making the game unfair. The deep threes, the lightning-fast assists, the way she manipulated defenses. Could one player really be this unstoppable? The whispers grew louder. Should the WNBA change its rules to maintain balance? June 7th, 2024. Indiana Fever versus Washington Mystics. The game was tight. The moment was tense. Clark had already scored 30 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, and dished out 6 assists. But it was her 7th three-pointer that made history. With the clock winding down, she stepped into yet another deep shot, tying Crystal Robinson's 1999 rookie record for most three-pointers in a game. The shot sealed an 85-83 victory, but it also reignited controversy. Some believed rookies were being officiated unfairly, especially Clark. The level of physicality she faced every night was different. Harder screens, more aggressive closeouts. extra shoves off the ball. Was it strategy, or was the league struggling to contain a player who was rewriting expectations in real time? But Clark didn't complain. She just kept making defenders pay. Even if some didn't want to admit it, Caitlin Clark was transforming the business of basketball. Before she arrived, WNBA games weren't exactly struggling, but they weren't selling out NBA arenas either. Then, suddenly, 6 different teams were moving their games against the Fever to larger venues because demand was that high. By July, 41 out of 44 Indiana Fever games were scheduled for national TV, the most in franchise history, the most ever. Yet despite this, some media voices kept trying to shift the conversation. They pushed narratives that Clark's impact was overblown, that she wasn't the only reason for the WNBA's surge in popularity. And sure, the league had plenty of great players. But the truth was simple: numbers don't lie. And all the numbers pointed to one name: Caitlin Clark. It wasn't just about the threes, or the assists, or even the records. It was about the way she changed what was possible. September 10th, 2024, Indiana Fever versus Dallas Wings. Clark had been torching teams all season, but this was different. This was a statement. She exploded for a career-high 35 points. She was hitting shots from the parking lot. Double-teamed? Didn't matter. Defenders in her face? Too late. She wasn't just scoring. She was dismantling Dallas's entire defensive game plan. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the Fever had won 97-84, and Clark had officially surpassed Simone Augustus for the most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Augustus, an all-time great. And Clark? She had just passed her in one season. Caitlin Clark wasn't just making defenders look lost. She was shaking up the entire media landscape. During a broadcast of a Fever vs. Wings game, WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops made critical comments about Clark. Soon after, she was removed from her broadcasting duties and replaced by Nancy Lieberman. Was it fair? Was it justified? That's up for debate. But the fact that a single rookie was impacting not just the game, but the media covering it proved just how massive her presence had become. Clark is so good, so dominant, that even she has joked about a 4-point line. And honestly, at this point, it doesn't sound crazy. She's already forcing defenders to guard her at half court. She's already breaking records at a pace that defies logic. If she keeps this up, what's stopping the WNBA from adjusting the game to match her range? Because here's the reality: Caitlin Clark isn't just playing in the WNBA, she's redefining it. They said she was overhyped. They said she was just a college phenom who would struggle against the pros. They said defenses would figure her out. Instead, she keeps proving them wrong. Lisa Leslie, a WNBA legend, recently defended Caitlin Clark amid ongoing discussions about the number of nationally televised games her team will have this season. The Fever are set to appear in 41 nationally televised matchups, a direct result of Clark's meteoric rise and her undeniable influence on the league. Some players, like Minnesota Lynx star Nafisa Collier, have questioned why the defending champion New York Liberty didn't receive as much TV coverage. But Leslie dismissed the complaints, stating that it all comes down to money, marketing, and Clark's contribution to the sport. According to Leslie, Clark has done wonders for women's basketball, and there is no reason for anyone to feel slighted by her increased media exposure. She highlighted that Clark's presence benefits the entire league, bringing more opportunities and financial growth for all players. Leslie also praised Clark's humility, emphasizing how she acknowledges those who came before her and shares credit with her teammates. Since her entry into the WNBA, Clark has become the league's main attraction. The Indiana Fever became the most-watched team last season by a significant margin, with the 14 highest-rated games of the year all featuring Clark. This surge in viewership, often referred to as the Caitlin Clark effect, has led multiple teams to move their home games against the Fever to larger venues in anticipation of record-breaking ticket sales. The Dallas Wings were the last team to adjust their venue, shifting a highly anticipated game featuring Clark and potential future WNBA star Paige Buchers to the American Airlines Center. Similarly, the Connecticut Sun relocated their July 15th matchup against the Fever to Boston's TD Garden, and the Chicago Sky moved 2 games to the United Center. teams that initially resisted such moves last season are now fully embracing the financial benefits that come with hosting Clark and the Fever. Greg Bibb, CEO of the Dallas Wings, acknowledged the change in perspective, citing the overwhelming demand for tickets and a dramatic increase in sellout crowds. The secondary market also played a role, with resellers capitalizing on the limited supply of tickets to Fever games. The impact of Clark's presence extends beyond just ticket sales. It's fundamentally reshaping the business model of the WNBA. Clark's influence is not only evident in attendance and TV ratings, but also in her effect on the broader sports landscape. Complex recently ranked her as the most influential female athlete, placing her ahead of major sports stars such as Angel Reese, Simone Biles, and Sha Carey Richardson. The publication highlighted her impact on WNBA attendance, which skyrocketed by 105% when she was playing, along with an 87% increase in road attendance for teams hosting the Fever. Her influence extends beyond the league and into the economy. According to economic experts, Clark's presence has significantly boosted the local economy in Indianapolis. Patrick Brewer, an associate professor of finance at Indiana University Columbus, estimated her economic impact on the city to be around $36 million, with the WNBA seeing at least $40 million in additional revenue because of her. Her arrival has also helped justify a new $78 million training center in Indianapolis, set to open in 2 years, featuring state-of-the-art basketball facilities, content production spaces, and fitness centers. While Clark's rise has been celebrated, it hasn't come without challenges. Basketball Hall of Famer Cheryl Miller recently spoke about the scrutiny Clark faces, drawing parallels to her own experience as a dominant college player in the 1980s. Miller noted that, as a black woman in basketball, she was often hated for her success, and while she hesitated to use the word hate for Clark's situation, she acknowledged that the young star is despised in some circles. Miller believes that much of the criticism directed at Clark is unwarranted, particularly from those who feel she has received excessive media attention. She pointed out that Clark put in the same hard work as any other player and shouldn't be blamed for the opportunities she has been given. Ultimately, Miller sees Clark as a positive force, helping elevate the league and providing financial benefits for all players. Another major storyline that has emerged is the perceived rivalry between Clark and Angel Reese. The two players have been pitted against each other since their college days, with their differing backgrounds and playing styles fueling media narratives. However, Miller, who coached both players during the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, noted that Clark and Reese got along well as teammates and never bought into the manufactured drama. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert previously compared their rivalry to that of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, drawing on the racial dynamics that defined that famous NBA matchup. However, Engelbert's comments were met with backlash, as some players and WNBA officials felt they were inappropriate. Despite this, the league continues to benefit from the added intrigue surrounding Clark and Reese, as their matchups generate massive viewership and social media engagement. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth, largely fueled by Clark's presence. Viewership has increased by 113% on ESPN and 133% on ION compared to the previous season. Attendance is up 47%, and discussions about league expansion have accelerated, with plans to grow from 12 to 16 teams by 2028. This surge in popularity has also positioned WNBA players to negotiate higher salaries in their next collective bargaining agreement, which will take effect in 2026. However, along with the financial and professional benefits comes added scrutiny, as players like Clark continue to face both admiration and resentment. Clark's impact on the sport is undeniable. From transforming the Indiana Fever into one of the most marketable teams in the league to driving record-breaking TV ratings and ticket sales, she has ushered in a new era for women's basketball. Clark's impact wasn't just individual, it transformed the Indiana Fever as a franchise. After a promising rookie season, the team wasted no time reshaping its roster for a serious playoff push. First, they made a coaching change, bringing in Stephanie White to replace Christy Sides. Then, they strengthened their lineup by adding proven veterans like Dewana Bonner, Sydney Colson, and Sophie Cunningham, players with experience and toughness to help Clark take the next step. With a revamped squad and a full season of experience under her belt, Clark enters her second year with a different level of expectation. The question isn't whether she belongs anymore. That debate is over. Now it's about what she can achieve next. Caitlin Clark is the game changer, the rule breaker, the player they couldn't stop no matter how hard they tried. So, what do you think? Let's talk in the comments. And if you loved this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share. Thanks for watching.